After Elvis, Priscilla Presley entered a strange but authentic chapter of her life. One that was both liberating and deeply confusing. She had spent so many years under the shadow of the king, adored by the public, but privately trapped in a relationship where her every move was defined by his fame. When their marriage ended, Priscilla was for the first time just herself.
When I left, I was suddenly confronted with the reality of figuring out who I was without Elvis.
It was during that period of transition, as she began rediscovering her independence, that she met Robert Kardashian. Robert was a young, ambitious attorney in Los Angeles. Intelligent, grounded, and kind. Their connection was easy, born out of shared warmth and mutual respect. In her memoir, Priscilla remembers him with great affection, describing how his quiet steadiness was exactly what she needed after years of turbulence.
Robert was a sweet man, and I liked him. But after a few months, I realized it wasn't going to work out.
Their romance, however, was short-lived. And though tender, it carried the weight of two very different lives. Robert's days were consumed by work. Endless meetings, cases, and late nights at the office. By the weekend, all he wanted was peace, movies at home, long naps, quiet evenings. Priscilla, on the other hand, was a woman coming back to life. She wanted to travel, go out, see friends, to feel the pulse of the world again.
Robert wanted to get married, but I knew it wouldn't work. I wasn't ready to marry again.
Their parting was gentle. There were no harsh words, just the unspoken understanding that their paths were not aligned. Still, Priscilla carried a warm memory of him. One of kindness and decency, in a time when she finally had the freedom to define her own life. Through all of this, Elvis remained a constant disruptive presence. He continued to believe, rather naively, that Priscilla belonged to him. That their bond was eternal, even after divorce. He would call her randomly, sometimes in the middle of the night, to tell her about his concerts, his fans, or whatever was on his mind.
He had an unfortunate habit of phoning late at night when I was with another man. It happened with Robert Kardashian. One night, Robert was sound asleep in bed with me when the phone rang at 2 a.m.
Priscilla never told Elvis about her personal life or the men she dated. She feared his temper and perhaps, deep down, still protected him from truths that might wound his pride. The shrill of the phone startled her. She slipped quietly out of bed, tiptoed across the house, and answered in a whisper. On the other end was Elvis, wide awake and talking a mile a minute about his latest concert. She listened for hours, murmuring responses, all while Robert slept in her bed, unaware. Elvis never knew she wasn't alone that night. In her reflections, Priscilla admitted that she was inexperienced with men after Elvis. Her entire adult life had revolved around one person, and stepping into the world as an independent woman was daunting. Every relationship afterward was a lesson. In trust, in space, in how to define herself outside of someone else's fame. Her time with Robert Kardashian may have been brief, but it marked an important step in that journey. When Robert was dying, his family was kind enough to let Priscilla to have one last conversation with him, for which she is forever grateful.
Robert's daughter, Kim, called me from the hospital shortly before he passed away. Robert and I had one last conversation before he died. He was the kindest of men, and I remember him with great affection.